Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, our mission is really to unpack the cultural phenomenon that is the Wonder Years.
Yeah, definitely.
We're embarking on, a comprehensive exploration of its unique appeal, its unforgettable characters, those pivotal episodes, and the enduring questions it raises about memory, nostalgia, television itself, really.
Mhm.
And to do this, we've gathered quite a stack of sources. We've got detailed analyses of its impact, episode rankings, um, and some really candid discussions from viewers, people who watched it back then and maybe reevaluated it decades later.
It's quite an archive, isn't it? Sentiment, critical analysis all rolled into one. And what's truly fascinating, I think, is how a series that first hit our screens, what, more than 30 years ago?
Yeah, over 30 years.
It still manages to resonate so profoundly. It keeps captivating audiences, through syndication, streaming platforms, and it's even inspired reboots recently.
Exactly. So, okay, beyond its initial success, what precisely made this series, debuted in 1988, so incredibly impactful then, and why does its unique magic sort of persist? Why does it keep drawing people in? Let's really unpack this, go beyond the surface level.
Sounds good. Where do we start? The beginning.
Yeah, let's start at the genesis. When we delve into the Wonder Years, its enduring legacy, it really begins with its very conception. This wasn't just, another sitcom churned out. It was born from a very specific philosophy.
Right. The creators, Neil Marlins and Carol Black.
Exactly. They set out with this really clear vision to evoke a powerful sense of nostalgia, aimed particularly at baby boomers. They wanted to meticulously examine the life of an average American family, but specifically navigating the tumultuous, the transformative 1960s.
It was a conscious effort, wasn't it? Almost academic, like you said, tapping into that collective memory, holding up a mirror to a generation's formative years.
And what's really interesting here, our sources show, is that this wasn't an easy sell at first.
No, not at all. Passed on by, what, every other major U.S. network.
Yeah, before ABC finally, and apparently very strongly, embraced it. You have to wonder what ABC saw that the others missed, right?
Maybe just foresight. Or perhaps they just recognized that potential in this unique blend of humor and heartfelt reflection.
And it wasn't just cautious optimism from ABC either. They made a huge strategic move. They gave the pilot episode that highly coveted slot right after Super Bowl X-2, January 31st, 1988.
Wow. Talk about a vote of confidence. That's a direct, bold play for maximum exposure, making sure as many eyes as possible caught that first glimpse of the Arnolds.
An incredible show of faith, really, for a pilot. And it clearly paid off because the show instantly stood out. It had this truly distinctive format that kind of bucked the trends of the time.
Yeah, it was always described as an unconventional sitcom.
And that's exactly what it was. It wasn't just setting up punchlines or, episodic gags. It seamlessly blended genuine humor with these profoundly heartwarming moments and even some pretty raw, relatable heartbreak.
It created this narrative tapestry, didn't it? It felt far more nuanced than your typical comedy.
Totally.
And a central element, almost revolutionary for the time, was that narration, the voiceover by Daniel Stern as the adult Kevin Arnold.
Oh, iconic. Absolutely central.
It wasn't just simple exposition guiding the plot. It offered this crucial retrospective lens, providing mature, often poignant, sometimes ironic insights into what was happening to his younger self.
That layered perspective, the wisdom of hindsight applied to the chaos of being a kid, it truly elevated the show. It allowed for a depth that, frankly, few shows achieved, even dramas.
And we absolutely cannot overlook the soundtrack.
Oh my goodness, the soundtrack. A killer soundtrack, as everyone calls it.
Totally. It wasn't just a collection of hits. It was meticulously curated. Classic rock pop from the 50s, 60s, 70s.
And that music wasn't just background noise, was it? It felt like a character in itself. It embedded the ambiance of the times, acted as this powerful emotional trigger.
So true. And our sources even highlight how problematic the music licensing became later for syndication and streaming.
Right, because it was so integral, almost inseparable from the show's identity, its emotional core. It really shows how deeply interwoven it was.
And that licensing challenge speaks volumes about its effectiveness, like you said. The music, combined with that deliberate choice to keep the location undisclosed.
The Anytown, USA feel.
Exactly. That really allowed for universal relatability. By not rooting it in a specific city, it just broadened its appeal. It wasn't about a street address. It was about the experience of growing up in that era.
Which naturally brings us to its enduring relatability factor. Our sources consistently point this out. It profoundly captured, quote, the innocence and simplicity of being a kid going through the process of growing up.
And that struggle, for better or worse, it absolutely transcends generations, doesn't it?
Totally. Regardless of when or where you grew up, there are these universal truths in Kevin's journey. The awkwardness of first crushes, the friction with
The
siblings.
parents you just don't understand.
Yeah. The search for identity. It's all timeless.
It really was something everyone could relate to, but maybe in different ways. You had the parents, the boomers, connecting deeply with the specific nostalgia, the cultural bits, the music.
Yeah, a lot of viewers remember it as a real family favorite.
Yeah,
Something watched together, taped even, creating shared memories within the family.
right. And at the same time, you had younger viewers, maybe like yourself, just a year younger than Kevin,
Yep, that was me.
finding his character incredibly relatable as they were going through junior high themselves. That dual appeal, bridging generational gaps, that was truly unique, foundational to its success, I think.
I can definitely attest to that personal connection. It seriously felt like my own life unfolding, just a few years ahead, like a preview of coming attractions or maybe warnings.
Yeah.
And this duality is exactly why it was so aptly described as a product of two times. It existed as a product of the late 80s when it was made, but it was reflecting on the late 60s, early 70s when it was set.
That dual temporal lens was absolutely crucial. It wasn't just a period piece, it was a period piece viewed through that filter of mature recollection, of hindsight.
Right. It gave it layers.
This layering allowed viewers not just to relive the past, but to reflect on it. It provided a distance that enabled insights, Understanding the sociocultural shifts of the 60s from the perspective of the more settled 80s, it added this reflective, almost philosophical layer. Made it more than just entertainment.
Okay, so let's shift gears slightly and really unpack the heart of it all. The Arnold family and the core characters who are like our guides through adolescence and change. We have to start with Kevin Arnold, obviously. Fred Savage.
Of course.
Our sources say he was cast pretty quickly. He had already done impressive work in The Princess Bride and vice versa, showed remarkable depth for a young actor.
He was such a natural fit, and we literally watch him grow up on screen, don't we? From the tweens into high school.
His journey is so universal. School, family dynamics, and eventually girls.
But what's interesting is how his character often seemed a bit guarded, almost insulated from the bigger world changes happening. His focus was very personal, immediate.
Yeah, though the era's impact definitely seeps in.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brian Cooper's death in Vietnam. That hits home.
Right. And Savage incredibly made history. Youngest person ever nominated for the lead actor Emmy in a comedy series.
Astonishing. For an actor that young to lead such a complex narrative.
It really was.
Okay, moving to the patriarch. Jack Arnold. Dan Lauria. He's often described as maybe the most complex character.
I'd agree with that. Jack was the embodiment of a bygone era, wasn't he? Clinging to his conservative views, his routines, while America was just transforming around him.
And his background really explains a lot of that complexity.
Absolutely. Forged by the Depression, World War II, served in Korea. That shapes a worldview, right? Duty, frugality, hard work often made him seem emotionally distant.
Early on, he's stuck in that tedious middle management job at NORCOM, Military Defense Corporation.
And Kevin's visit to his office and my father's office, that's episode 10, right? Highly ranked.
Yep, number 10.
That episode really sheds light on why he was often grumpy, short-tempered, explains why he'd escaped to his telescope in the backyard, looking outwards.
Trying to make sense of it all, maybe? He struggled so much with Karen embracing the counterculture.
Oh, intensely. But, he did adapt in his way. Starting his own furniture business later shows a capacity for change, even if it was grudging.
And despite that stern exterior, there were these moments, these incredibly touching moments that really endeared him to viewers, revealed the affection underneath.
Like the late-night diner scene with Kevin in Hero, Season 5, number 8 ranked episode.
Yes, where he talks about the pressure of being a hero. So vulnerable, showcased his admirable human side.
Powerful, understated moment revealed those layers.
And then, so poignantly, the adult Kevin's narration in the finale reveals Jack dies a few months into 1975.
Such a pivotal emotional moment for the family, symbolizing the end of an era, really, for Kevin and for the show's whole generational story.
A reminder of the finite nature of childhood, I guess. Then there's Norma Arnold, Allie Mills, such quiet strength.
The devoted housewife, yeah. The emotional anchor, often unseen, trying to hold it all together.
But her character's arc, though subtle, really reflected the rise of feminism happening then. She eventually goes back to school, gets a job at a software company.
A move that, as our sources note, initially ruffled Jack a bit.
I bet it did. It was a quiet but significant shift, mirroring those broader societal changes for women.
It felt believable, didn't it? Groundbreaking for her character, but totally organic.
And Mom Wars, Season 3, number 19, highlighted her role, her quiet wisdom. Kevin tries to hide a football injury.
Learns the hard way. Mother always knows best.
A timeless lesson, wrapped in a very specific, relatable incident.
Indeed. A subtle nod to that wisdom underlying parental guidance. Okay, next up. Wayne. Jason Hervey.
Oof, Wayne, the oldest son, the quintessential annoyance, right? An agent provocateur in Kevin's life.
Appeared maybe not terribly bright, but perhaps that was just apathy, disinterest in school, conforming.
Could be. He definitely struggled with relationships. Dating that older, separated woman that felt rebellious, misguided.
He certainly frustrated Kevin, but he had moments of surprising depth, too. Jack gets some work in Norcom, like himself, then later in the furniture business.
More grounded, yeah. But the most poignant moments with Wayne often touched on the real-world impact of the era.
Like his friend Wart, returning from Vietnam and Homecoming, Season 6, number 20.
Oh, that was powerful. Wirt's struggle to fit back in. It was a glimpse into the hidden tolls of the war, even on the edges of the Arnold family.
And Private Butthead, Season 5, number 13, another key Wayne episode.
Right, where he tries to enlist.
Yeah, signs up for the army, maybe trying to escape, but gets rejected. Psoriasis.
It's described as a bittersweet moment, isn't it? Highlighting that arbitrary nature of fate, dashed hopes. Feels very real.
And in the finale, Jack's death forces Wayne to mature fast, steps up, takes over the business. A significant arc for a character who often seemed aimless. Shows the power of responsibility.
Then there's Karen, Olivia Diabo, often called the forgotten member, maybe because her storylines pulled her away from the family unit.
Yeah, but ironically, her storylines were often some of the most memorable, thematically rich.
Totally. The family rebel, embracing counterculture, flower power, feminism, leading to that rift with Jack.
Daddy's Little Girl, Season 3, number 24.
Yeah.
That really showcased the generational clash. Her 18th birthday standoff with Jack. It was about more than lifestyle, wasn't it? About letting go.
Absolutely. And her wedding to Michael David Schwimmer.
Pre-Friends.
In the Wedding, Season 5, number 25. Described as a far departure from traditional nuptials. Total counterculture celebration.
And it ultimately led to her parents accepting her choices, right? Even moving to Alaska symbolized a hard-won peace growth for everyone.
And remember Brightwing, Season 2, number 6. That showed a different side of Karen and Kevin's relationship.
Yeah, bonding while she uses him as cover for skipping school, but also her deciding not to run away to San Francisco.
Showed a deeper connection sometimes. Her protective side mixed with that free spirit.
Okay, moving outside the immediate family. Paul Pfeiffer, Josh Saviano.
Ah, Paul, Kevin's best friend. The embodiment of the dorky and uncoordinated kid who wasn't cool.
He was the best friend so many of us had, right? Loyal, a bit awkward, but always there, navigating adolescence alongside Kevin.
Absolutely. He was often Kevin's moral compass, his conscience at times, a loyal friend through thick and thin.
But their friendship faced realistic challenges. They did drift apart as the series moved along.
Which was so poignant, so honest, how friendships change as people grow up.
And Paul's allergies. Remember the Journey, Season 4, number 21.
Yes. Became a memorable, often funny obstacle. Highlighted his awkwardness.
The episode itself, crashing the slumber party, it embodied that friendship and loyalty despite all the mishaps. It was those subtly endearing moments, our sources say, that made the show so special, grounding universal themes in specific details.
Okay, now, Winnie Cooper, Danica McKellar.
The defining relationship, really.
Undoubtedly the long-term love interest of Kevin. The quintessential girl next door. Embodied our first love, first kiss, first physical intimacy. Ultimately, our first heartbreak.
And that casting story is fascinating. Danica chosen over her real-life sister Crystal after weeks of calls.
Imagine. That decision set the stage for one of TV's most iconic teen romances.
And that relationship, as our sources perfectly describe it, was a roller coaster. All those ups and downs mirrored the volatility of young love.
Moving, Season 3, number 17. That hit hard. Winning her family move across town, new school.
Immediately tested their relationship. Distance, new social circles, huge challenge.
And the emotional weight of the accident. Season 4, number 16. Unforgettable. Kevin appearing at her window after the crash.
Set to Bob Seger's We've Got Tonight. Perfect. Captures that vulnerability, that connection.
And the raw pain of heartbreak. Season 4, number 15. Kevin sees Winnie thriving at her new school, new friends, even a boyfriend.
Oof. That captured the overwhelming pain of young love feeling left behind. Devastating.
And Night Out. Season 3, number 9. Showed the complexities, didn't it? Winnie saving their kiss for a special moment on the bridge, not at the party.
Yeah, illustrated how deep and complex those grade school relationships could feel, full of unspoken things, idealized romance.
Then the finale, Independence Day, Season 6, Number 5. That two-parter.
Crucial arc for them.
Kevin sees her kiss a coworker at the resort job, gets so peeved, but they reconcile in that barn scene.
But then the adult Kevin's narration, the bittersweet twist. Winnie goes to Paris, doesn't return till the 80s, meets Kevin's wife and son.
It's like a poignant, unconventional, and ultimately realistic ending. First loves don't always last, but they leave a mark.
Definitely left a lasting, realistic impression, showed the commitment to life's messy truths. And we can't forget Becky Slater.
Ah, Becky. Played by Crystal McKellar, Danica's sister.
The recurring character we love to hate. Perfect foil for Kevin and Winnie.
Bossy and demanding, but also into Kevin, cause endless complications.
And Kevin, in his naive way, used her to make Winnie jealous.
Which totally backfired. Becky finds out, tries to make Kevin's life hell by spilling his secrets in Nemesis. Season 2, Number 19.
Classic teenage drama. Jealousy, junior high cruelty, expertly done.
Finally, among the recurring characters, Mr. Collins, Kevin's math teacher, Stephen Gilborn.
So memorable, stern but fair, and crucially, he saw promise in Kevin, recognized potential Kevin didn't see in himself.
The episode Goodbye, Season 3, Number 3, may be the most powerful illustration of his impact.
Absolutely. Kevin botches the test, feels betrayed because Collins canceled tutoring, raw teenage reaction.
Then learns Collins died. Heart failure. Devastating.
And that detail, Collins had misplaced the bad test, allowing a retake.
Kevin's final homage to the empty classroom. You don't have to grade it, it's an A.
Oh, yeah.
Gets me every time.
One of the most moving moments in the whole series, masterclass in showing a mentor's impact and the grief of realizing it too late.
That episode is always cited as a standout, for good reason. Encapsulated so much emotional depth. Regret, influence, bittersweet life lessons. Transcended sitcom tropes.
Okay, so moving beyond characters and plot, the show got huge critical reception awards, but faced challenges too, right? Behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It enjoyed significant success, critically and ratings-wise, for its whole run. Top 30 show in America for 4 years straight.
That's sustained success, powerful testament to its appeal, and it got, 22 awards, 54 nominations?
Impressive numbers. Reflects that recognition. TV Guide, which was huge back then, named 2 episodes in the top 100 greatest TV episodes of all time.
Wow. And the finale.
Named the 11th best final show ever produced for TV. High praise speaks volumes about its lasting impact.
Absolutely. But despite all that acclaim, the final season, our sources say it was marked by significant behind-the-scenes arguments, network versus producers.
Yeah, tension. It showed in tangible ways. ABC moved the show to a new night.
Yeah.
Led directly to a ratings downturn.
Raises that classic question, doesn't it? Creative control versus network demands. ABC was seen as hindering the creative process.
Particularly around exploring Kevin's puberty, hormonal urges. They wanted it more family-friendly. Early time slot, gentle tone.
Which seems frustrating because sources point out other shows were exploring similar teen stuff then. Maybe a double standard for the Wonder Years tone.
Classic network struggle. Creative integrity versus commercial needs. Though interestingly, some moments did get past the veto.
Like Kevin's awkward encounter with the girl wanting to skinny dip.
Exactly. So the producers pushed where they could. Injected some reality, often through humor.
Those subtle wins were important for authenticity, but rising costs also played a role in the cancellation, often overlooked.
Yeah, episode costs went up. Cast salaries rose with the ratings. And more on-location shoots once Kevin got his driver's license.
Seems minor, but that driving meant more scenes outside the studio, big logistical and financial impact.
Added pressure. And the uncertainty from those producer network clashes led to them producing an open-ended episode to finish season 6.
A contingency plan. Could go either way, renewal or wrap up.
So when the decision finally came down to axe the show, they quickly filmed and added that voiceover, revealing everyone's fates.
Pragmatic, maybe rushed, but it provided closure. A necessary solution, really, given the pressures. Explains why those final moments felt so definitive, so poignant for fans.
So, okay, given all that history, the challenges, what about its legacy now? Modern relevance. Can that magic be recaptured?
It's remarkable, isn't it, that the Wonder Years remains relevant today. Quite an achievement.
You can still find it. Syndication, streaming like Netflix. Though, yeah, the music issues, theme songs sometimes replaced, other tracks edited out, licensing.
That music rights battle became legendary, shows how vital the soundtrack was. It's on DVD too, but after huge delays because of those same issues.
Despite the hurdles, people still love rewatching. Our sources say it triggers great memories, that enduring presence connecting with new audiences speaks to its timeless themes.
But it leads to that debate. Can it be made today? And opinions are all over the place, reveals different takes on storytelling, audiences, nostalgia itself.
Strong arguments against it. Some say it wouldn't work now. Technology, social media, would fundamentally change Kevin's innocent struggles.
Plus, concerns about sensitive topics triggering people in today's climate.
Yeah, the fear a modern version would be too edgy and political, sucking the fun out of it. The original handled history subtly through Kevin's eyes.
And the challenge of doing a network show set 50 years ago for Family Hour, shows like Mad Men or Mrs. Maisel were different beasts. Cable, streaming, adult audiences.
That product of two times concept is a big hurdle too. Can't easily replicate the 80s looking back at the 60s.
Right. And some commenters point out a show set 50 years ago today might just baffle or bore younger viewers lacking context or nostalgia for, say, the early 70s.
Is the nostalgia tied specifically to its original era? Impossible to replicate?
Maybe. But there are strong arguments for its modern viability too, suggesting the core appeal transcends eras.
Some argue society is begging for another show like this. Simple, delicate, humorous, relatable, believing adolescence and family dynamics are universally appealing.
The idea that trends swing back, right? Maybe the late 80s were a golden era of TV of the people, focusing on real struggles. Could that come back?
Proponents think so. They point to contemporary comparisons. The Goldbergs, similar premise, 80s setting, narration.
Malcolm in the Middle, young Sheldon, son of a Critch, the kids are all right. Often cited for similar styles or themes. Family, growing up.
So the core concept is still appealing, even if the era changes. Which brings us to the 2021 reboot.
Right. An intriguing approach, featuring a black family, the Williams, in Montgomery, Alabama during the same late 60s era, offered a new, vital perspective.
It aimed to show a different experience, young Dean Williams discovering racial restrictions, customs, navigating a white world, raised by responsible parents doing their best.
A necessary perspective on a period usually seen through a white suburban lens. Starred Elisha Williams as Dean, Dule Hill as his dad, Bill.
Who many said stole almost every scene. Great performance.
And the show itself was generally called very good by critics. Viewers often came close to matching the original in emotional depth, humor.
But despite that positive reception, it got canceled after 2 seasons.
Yeah, unfortunately. And some viewers had strong opinions. Just sucks compared to the original. Hard to compete. The legacy burden was heavy.
Some criticism felt it was a very different show with a familiar name slapped on it, maybe alienating the original fan base, exploiting the brand without the spirit.
And some online comments noted it had in-your-face politics within the first 5 minutes. A departure from the original, subtler approach for some.
It's also worth noting, Fred Savage was involved, executive producer, director. And our sources mention issues reported concerning him during production. Online comments described him, well, negatively, using terms like major creep, long history of being an asshole. We're just reporting impartially what the sources contain here, not endorsing it, but it's part of the reboot's context.
Right. It seems that unique magic of the original was indeed hard to recapture. Complex reasons, audience expectations, reimagining nostalgia, production realities.
The reboot, while valuable, maybe highlighted the specific alchemy that made the original so beloved.
Ultimately, The Wonder Years really stands as this profound testament, doesn't it, to the power of storytelling that captures the universal, often messy experience of growing up.
Its unique blend, humor, deep emotion, relatable characters, all filtered through memory and nostalgia. It forged an indelible legacy, still resonates across generations, speaks to the kid in all of us.
It really does. And reflecting on Kevin's journey, the show's impact, it makes you think, what truly defines the wonder of our own formative years? And how are those timeless elements of adolescence being captured or not in the stories we see today?
It's a great question to ponder after this deep dive ends. If you enjoyed this exploration, please remember to subscribe, like, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts on the Wonder Years, or suggest future topics for us.
Thank you for listening to The Deep Dive.